Hey guys, this is All Stream That, and we are back today with another episode of Kerbal Space Program. This should be episode 2. In the last episode, we got all the way to breaking the atmosphere, and before we left, we unlocked the basic science, and we did that so we could have the Probo-Dobodyne Stay Putnik, so we can do unmanned right now. That also unlocked the battery pack. But what I really wanted it for was the Science Junior. So what we are going to do is we're going to go into the vehicle assembly building, and we're going to use the Science Junior, and this will be, I'll just call this SJ1, and we're just going to take that straight out to the launch pad. And we're going to get the science from that one. That gets us 7.5 science. So let's keep the experiment and recover. That puts us up to 24 science. And we're going to go back in. And I think we're going to put a heat shield on there. And the reason that we're going to do the heat shield is because that will basically the impact that we're going to have when we come down, that can absorb it. Let's get that on there, and let's get 2 of those. And basically what we are doing right now with this is we are getting all of the science that we need to. We're going to use the swivel. Let's get those on so we can see where that is. And we're going to need some fins because we have the gimbaling engine. We're just going to use those. And that should be fine. We're just going to keep calling these SJ1. Simply because we're not going to have to do anything with these after this. So let's go ahead and go full throttle. There we go. That got us 17.5 science. We will keep that. Okay, we jettisoned the rocket. Let's go ahead and close the doors. Okay, we'll use the SAS. Keep everything straight up, and that one should be going in just a second here. There we go. And we will just wait a second here. So once we land, we will recover, and then we will do the same flight again, and we will use the Science Junior when we land on the next flight. There we go. That got us 17 science. We have 42 science right now. We still can't get anything. We need 45, and that is fine. We will just go right back in, go right back out to launch. And this time we will not use the Science Junior until we land. There we go. Let's go ahead and speed it up a little bit. And then when we land, we will use the Science Junior. And really the reason that we're doing this is because we want to get all of the Science Junior science that we got with the barometer, thermometer, and the goo. That way all of the science is at the same level. And we might be able to pick up a few things before we orbit as well that we might need. And that got us 10 science. For a total of 52. So we can now do flight control. We might do that because the re-entry module gives us a extra crew capacity. That also gives us a inline reaction wheel and a couple of winglets. We have the aviation. That's basic. What's the word I'm thinking of? It's basic aeronautics. So airplane parts. We could do general construction. That will give us the Mark I crew cabin, which will actually give us 2 extra passengers. That's really the only thing in there that I would want right now. Or we could do advanced rocketry, and that gives us the Terrier liquid fuel engine, which I do like. And I am actually thinking about doing the Terrier. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to hold off on those for now, because I really want that extra spot, but I really want that Terrier. So I don't know how much science the Science Junior will get us when we go suborbital, which we are about to do. So we'll just put a thumper right there. And we will grab 4 of those and put them right there. and that should work. So we're going to take this up, and we will do the Science Junior when we are suborbital. And it looks like everything's going to work. Alright. And we're just going to continue calling this the SJ1. We'll save it and we will launch. Okay, so our throttle doesn't mean anything here because we've got the solid rockets. And here we go. We're going to go suborbital with this one. So let's go out to the map real quick. And we will make sure we're definitely going to go suborbital. It looks like it's... Yep, we're definitely going to be going suborbital. Probably about 150, 160, 170, 80, 90... Almost 200,000 was where it topped out. Okay. So let's go back to the map. Let's jettison that. That should, because of the rotation of the planet, that should be in the water. And there's the music. So let's conduct a materials study, and that gives us 25 science if we can recover. So let's keep the experiment, and let's close the doors. We cannot do an EVA because we have not done the required upgrades for that. And I think our crew report... I did not know we didn't have that, so let's go ahead and keep that experiment. That got us an extra 5 science. So we're going up and we're coming back down. It looks like we are probably going to be landing... Yes, we're definitely going to be landing on land. Okay, so our... Okay, there we go. That's one of the tricks I've learned, is if you spin, your heat will be better, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Okay, so the parachutes are safe to deploy. So as long as we can land without ruining the Science Junior, we just got quite a bit of science. And if we can get away with about 28 science gained, then we should be fine. Or no, 38. We need 38. I don't think we're going to get 38. We might, though, when it's all said and done. I think I've already got science from over here. If I have, then we won't get any extra for an EVA. Okay, and I'm always looking for my shadow. That helps to see how close you are to the ground. There we go. So we want to do an EVA here. Okay, we got an extra 2.4. We will take all the data, store all the data. We will board. Crew report for another 1.5. And let's recover, and let's see where we're at. We have 87 science. We only need 3 to get both. We actually only need 2.2. So, let's see what we are going to be able to do here. Advanced rocketry gets a stat, and the other one I wanted was flight control for that one. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to do advanced rocketry so we can get that Terrier liquid fuel engine, because we're definitely going to need that. After this mission, we'll be able to get the re-entry module, which will allow us to have an extra Kerbal on board. So we are now going to... Actually, you know what? I could probably get that right now, but we're not going to. Here's what we're going to do instead. Let's just go for a brand new craft. Let's save and continue. None. Okay, so we have the Probodobodyne, which is that's for an unmanned flight, so we can do that with remote. But we're going to use the Mark 1, so we can. Yeah, so we're still going to have a Kerbal on board. Our Kerbal is not going to be Jebediah. We're going to replace Jeb with Valentina. She's going to be the first one to orbit, and he will be right behind her. So let's go back into the build, and we want the parachute. We want the drogue chutes. We want those to be up a little bit. Okay, I don't know why it's not allowing me. Okay, there we go. It's kind of allowing me to zoom in, but it's kind of not. It's not allowing me to do it the way that I want to. So let's go into the science. We want the Science Junior. Yeah, so we've got the Science Junior. Let's have... Okay, the mass of all of these are the same. They're all 0.5. And that's fine. Okay. So because they're all 0.5, it doesn't matter where we put them on there. It will all affect it the same. So we're going to put the goo there. We're going to put a thermometer there. And we're going to put a barometer there. So this is going to basically just be an orbit, and once we get it into orbit, we will do the thermometer, the goo, the barometer, and the Science Junior. So that's the science that we're going to do. We still need our heat shield for re-entry. We need some fuel tanks. Let's use... Oh, first we want a decoupler. And let's do that fuel tank. We want that one because it's got a big capacity. We're going to use the Terrier liquid fuel engine. So we're going to use the Thumper, the big solid one that we were using before, to get us high enough. And actually, okay, we want to do this first. Okay. So we want to make sure that everything is right. So we're just going to use the basic fins. We're going to put them right there. Did I not put a decoupler on there? I did, okay. So that right there is right. Anytime you're building a multi-stage, the way that I'm doing, you want to make sure that each stage is centered. So we've got that stage. This will be our final stage pretty much. And actually the final stage will be the return, which is the Science Junior and the pod. This right here is going to be our orbit and deorbit phase. Or not phase, but stage. We will throw a decoupler on there, and that right there will be our stage that's going to get us high enough. And that should work. I think that's going to get us high enough. We're going to use the winglets. And that right there should be fine. Okay, so we have our Thumper. When that runs out, we will decouple. And then we will start our Terrier engine. When that runs out, we will be able to decouple, or when we it may not even run out. We may have enough to do a re-entry burn, but when we need to, we will decouple all of that, and then the parachutes are on the same stage. Okay. So I'm going to call this Orbiter 1.0. We will save that. Valentina is our pilot today. And we will launch. Okay, so I just took that up, and we don't need a lot of this. We don't need any of that science because we already have that close to Kerbal. Let's take... Oh, come on, where is it? There we go. Let's take that off, and let's also do this. We can take that off. Okay. So if we go like that, this is our decoupler. We will put that directly on the bottom of the Science Junior. We do that. Okay. So we're doing that for a reason. We're going to take those right there off at the same time. Let's save that. Let's leave here. We want to be able to do EVAs, and the way that we do that, I think it's the astronaut complex for 75,000. We can now perform EVAs, and we can also have 12 active Kerbals, so we can start hiring if we want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this up into orbit, and once we're in orbit, we will I don't even think we need the Science Junior, but we're going to leave that on there if we get any science from that at all, which I think we will. We will have Valentina do an EVA. The first EVA in the history of this playthrough, and she will grab the science from the Science Junior, and that will be jettisoned away on re-entry. So let's make sure everything is still good. We want to make sure that we have everything in the right order, and it looks like we do. Okay. Let's make sure that Valentina is still our pilot. She is. And yeah, she has no experience whatsoever. That's fine. Let's go ahead. We're going to save, make sure it's good, and we're going to launch. Okay, so I know this goes into orbit. I know that that works. We just barely got it up into orbit and back last time, but we took a few small things off, so we might be a little bit better now. But let's go. Let's turn the SAS on and we will launch. Okay, and I'm trying to see if we can tip that over, which we can't. Okay, that's the thing. I just want to barely tip that over, and it's not allowing me to do it. But that's fine. So as soon as this goes out, which it just did, we can do that. And then we can tip. And we can start our burn. Okay. And just like last time, we burned down just a little bit here. We don't have the We don't have the technology yet. We haven't done the upgrades yet to be able to do maneuver nodes, which is fine. Normally I don't do those on my first orbit anyway. So I normally do that after my first orbit, and that allows me to get to the moon that much easier. So we will just make this wider. And we are going to be doing our first EVA, so that will get us a little bit more science, and we can also do an EVA report while we are out there. And that will get us more science as well. So this is going to be a big thing for the science. And it should be coming up soon. Oh, come on. We're not going to have enough, are we? Okay. We have just a little bit left. Okay, we will have enough to deorbit, but just barely. Let's head back into this. Okay, that got us 5.5. That's fine. It's something. Every little bit helps. There we go. There she is. We can do an EVA report that gets us 8 science. Let's collect the data. Okay, removing the experiment data will render this module inoperable. Restoring functionality will require a scientist. Let's remove the data. Store the experiments. And we will get her back in. And I think, okay, yep, a crew report does nothing. Okay. So now we want to be over there. Anytime you exit the control pod or wherever you're controlling from, anytime you exit, you have to reset the SAS. So let's go back to the map. We are not quite there. So the reason that we're going up here before we do a burn is because that is the best time when you are near the top to affect the bottom of your orbit. So when you're on the X, you are in retrograde, meaning that you are facing the opposite way that you are traveling. Okay, we may or may not be going through a couple of times. We're going to be in the atmosphere, that much we know. And the friction over there might be able to bring our apoapsis down far enough. Or it may be able to bring the periapsis down far enough that we are further in to the atmosphere the next time that we pass through, that we will be able to just land pretty much. So we have our... Okay, we've entered orbit for the first time, and we've performed the first spacewalk. So we're gonna keep on going. And of course we want to be over there. And we're gonna keep everything on right now because we are right now hopeful. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Okay. So we're basically hopeful that that can take away some of the heat. Let's go ahead and close those doors. Okay. So let's see how this is going to go. We have about half of our electrical charge left. We did not grab our contract. Okay, so there we go. We start taking on heat. If we go this way, okay, once it starts getting a little too hot, we can jettison those off. Okay, and if we go over here, we can see our ablator is starting to go down a little bit. Let's keep that open. Okay, so again, we may have to pass through a couple of times, but we are going to get Valentina back. And there will not be a rescue mission. She will be the first to orbit the planet, and she will also be the first to do a spacewalk. Okay, the periapsis is slowly going down. The apoapsis is falling pretty quick too. So that's exactly what I was hoping for. Once I got up there and saw what the situation was, I kind of knew that we weren't going to have enough fuel to do a full deorbit burn. And yep, so we are fully deorbited. So we're going to be going all the way down. So now it's just a matter of time. And we just have to sit here and wait. If we do that, okay, so far everything is good. Oh, we basically just want to make sure that we are close to that, and we should be getting through the bad part of the atmosphere here pretty soon. There we go. So now we don't need to worry about burning up anymore, and we're just waiting for our... Okay, those are good now. And it's going to be a water landing. And there we go. So we will open up the chutes, and... Okay, the 2 drogue chutes are good, and the regular parachute should be coming up soon. Yep. Okay. So Valentina has successfully orbited and returned. And we should be getting at least a little bit of science. And we're just waiting for her to land. We went up there pretty clean. We got back fairly clean, I guess. It could have been a little bit better. But she made it. Okay, we can get 2 science from there. Let's have her EVA. Okay, from Kerbal's water. So the last one we did was on the shore. And this one is actually in the water. So let's keep that experiment. We will have her board and recover the vessel, and that should give us some decent science. So we got 10 science just from recovering a vessel returned from Kerbal orbit. The EVA report from space got us 8. The one from Kerbal's water got us 3.2. We have 78.5. We got 28.7 for that whole mission. So we got the advanced rocketry, which got us the Terrier. It was the... Yes, it was the flight control that I wanted. Or... we could do this one, and that will get us a mobility enhancer, also known as a ladder. That will get us the Rove Max Model S2 wheels, which I do kind of want. And actually, no, we can't get those because we're about 12 short. So let's go ahead. We're going to get flight control, and that will give us... that will give us the re-entry module. Do I want that, or do I want this? If I take... no, the general construction. If I take the general construction, then we can fit a scientist and an engineer on board. And we can also take tourists. So I think that's what we're going to do, is we're going to take the general construction so we can get the Mark I crew cabin. And that works. So that unlocks quite a bit for us. And let's go into mission control. And before we forget... Oh, we're not gonna... Okay, we're not gonna be able to get anything from that because I messed up and didn't have it in there. Oh, so we're going to be doing a few things in the next episode. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do, but we're going to take care of some of these contracts. We might do this one because we can do this with 2 trips. Just taking 2 suborbital trips. Because that's all they want is just suborbital space flight. So that will get us a little bit more money. And then we will also probably do the Explore the Moon in the next episode. That's something that I would really like to do, is get started on this one. So we basically just a flyby and a return to Kerbal from a flyby of the moon. That will get us a total of 12 just for that. And then gather scientific data from the moon, and that would get us 3 extra science. Okay, we're not going to take any of those contracts right now. We're going to end the episode right here. And I want to thank everybody for watching. My name is AllStreamThat. Hit that like and subscribe button. Go ahead and follow me over on Twitch at AllStreamThat. The link will be in the description below. And we're going to start streaming there about the 28th or 29th of December. And have a wonderful day.